Hi, I'm Roger Reed at Body for Life Healthcare in Paddington, London. This video is just to talk to you a little bit about why you shouldn't pop and click things. One of the questions I have to ask all my new patients is, are you popping and clicking things yourself? And a lot of them are saying yes. So the reason then I have to explain to them why it's not helpful. Especially when chiropractors like me like to pop and click, because that's how we get things loosened up. And the way I explain it is a good joint should move, it should bend, it should tilt, it should rotate. When a joint gets stuck, it gets restricted, it gets painful, it will restrict your range of motion, it'll get painful, the muscles tighten up around that, there's often inflammation in the joint, and when you come and see me, I'll find that one there is stuck on this side, it's not moving in that direction. I'll put my thumb on it and I'll move that little spot. Your range of motion will improve, muscles start to relax, pain goes away, happy days. When you do it at home, 99 times out of 100 people are doing a long lever, non-specific, big twist, something pops. Not the tight spot, it's going to be something usually above or below that restricted tight spot over there. Now what happens is that you get some pain relief and so you think you're helping. The reason you get some pain relief is there's an endorphin release, there's a neurological spillover, and temporarily you feel like you've made things better. But what's actually happening is you're creating instability at the joints above and below, because now you'll click it again and then it'll feel like it's all stiff and tight again, so you'll click it again and you end up doing the same thing again and again and again. And at first it starts out doing it once a week or once a day, and then it builds up and you start to do it 3, 4, 5 times a day, sometimes 20 or 30 times a day. Now what's happening is you're creating a massive instability, hypermobility. That joint's, instead of being stuck or locked or just happily in between where it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, now it becomes unstable. And effectively in the neck, I tell people it's very much like giving yourself a whiplash injury in installments. The end result is the same though. When I take an x-ray of someone who's been in a big car crash, been sitting quietly in their car and got slammed from behind and got a big flexion extension injury, the instability, the muscle spasm that goes along with that, the flattening out of that cervical curve, it all looks exactly the same on the x-ray of someone who's been clicking and popping for 5 years or a couple of years. Another example of a friend who used to click his knuckles all the time, and a few years ago he flicked a piece of paper, dislocated his finger. Most painful thing he said he's ever done. So it's not good to make the joints unstable, to pop things all the time. I used to think that it was necessary, and I used to click my knuckles all the time, and then they always felt stiff, and then you click them again and they feel better, and then they stiffen up. I stopped clicking them and they feel fine now. They don't get stiff anymore. I used to think it was quite clever just to be able to pop my own sacroiliac joint, and I've seen YouTube videos now of chiropractors teaching you how to pop things yourself. Remember, it's a long lever, non-specific maneuver, and in the long run you're not going to make things better, you're going to make things worse. Rather, don't pop, stop popping. Things might get a little worse for a week or 2 or 3, and then it'll turn around, it'll start to stabilize, preferably see a chiropractor to weed out the tight spots, and then you'll find that things will get better and better and your range of motion improve. But more importantly, when you're popping things yourself, you'll find you have to click more and more often to get the same relief, and it'll just deteriorate and deteriorate and deteriorate, and by the time people come and see me, then usually things are fairly sort of far down the road and it's much harder to get them sorted out. So don't pop, you've been warned.